are live.
Yay!
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Entre Nos, Between Us Real Estate. Um, this is a new episode, and I just want to say thank you to all those followers. Even though we are new, this is, I think, the fourth episode, and we have hundreds of views and messages because I believe, and if I'm not mistaken, this is the first or the only podcast for real estate agents to share their life, their story, like our human part. We have a lot of podcasts for real estate, like coaching and how to do this, how to create more business, how to close 4 transactions a month, how to make $1 million a year, which is fine. I follow a lot of podcasts and good ones. Um, and we do need a lot of education because I always say that the real estate career is the only one that you can make a lot of money and you are responsible of millions of dollars and you just get your license going to school or maybe online for 2 weeks. You get the license and you're ready to go. And you can sign a contract for hundreds of thousands of dollars and you don't even know what you're doing because you don't start learning until you actually get the license. And it's like, okay, what am I doing now? So we do need all those good coachings and podcasts and trainings and all that stuff. Even though many people don't think that we pay for education, we spend a lot of money to actually educate ourselves, how to help clients, how to help our families, and being responsible of millions of dollars and signing contracts. And we need to know about how to sign a contract. You need to be kind of like an attorney to read those contracts and to see what exactly you are signing or your client is signing. You have to be you have to be a salesperson, number one, and they don't teach you that at the real estate school. You have to be customer service 100%. You need to be a good communicator. You need to be a good negotiator. You need to be everything. And you don't learn that. You get the license and it's like, here you go,
Yeah.
sign contracts. So I think we do know we need those. But I created this spot because I think it's important for people to know how our path, how our career really is on a daily basis, and how what we become either successful or some agents they decide to quit. Why do they decide to quit? Nobody knows. There's so many people getting those licenses because they see the social media, they see all the winnings, the listings, they just closed the happy buyers, happy sellers, which is fine. We share those. I share those in my social media. So people like, oh, I'm gonna get a license because I see that Karina is having a nice life.
It looks so
It
easy.
looks so easy and they make a lot of money. I'm sorry, I'm gonna say this BS, bullshit.
Yeah.
We do, yes, you can make a lot of money, but you have to work a lot. And it's not just making a video or a TikTok that you're gonna make a lot of money.
Correct.
There's a lot more than that. So that's why I think we need to share our stories. And I invite friends and realtors who want to share their stories so other people, other agents that are maybe thinking of quitting, or maybe agents that are saying, oh, this is not for me because I got my license thinking that I was going to make a lot of money and I'm not. Maybe they can relate to your story, or maybe they can relate to other people's story, and they're like, you're not the only one. This career is very lonely. Even if you're part of a team, if you have a great broker, it is a lonely career. At the end of the day, it is your business. So that's why I invite friends. And today I have the honor, the privilege to have a very, very, very dear friend, a person that I love and respect and admire because she is so young. She's so pretty. I mean, everything she does, I think she does it good. But today we're going to know how she does it. And maybe she has her ups and downs. Maybe we don't know everything about Danny. So Daniela Patton is here with us today to share her story. Danny is a great professional, a very good agent, We have worked a couple of deals together, and I have to say, I respect you as a professional. I respect you as a friend, as a person, and she's so disciplined, committed, and she's gonna share her story because she is. You are fitness something, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, but I know you're always working out and you're always doing the right things to do. You're so disciplined, and I think that helps you in your career. That has helped your
Absolutely.
career. And just Danny, welcome and thank you for coming. I know you're coming
Thank
from
you.
far because you're in Lake County, right?
Correct. Yeah.
And today was raining, so the traffic was
Cold.
not cold. So thank you for being here today. And actually, thank you for sharing your story because this is not just for you and for me, this is for many, many agents or just in general. Your family, your friends, they want to know more about you. They want to know more about the pretty girl that is always like running with clients and the gym and love life and friends and everything looks so like perfect.
Put together.
Yeah, but we don't know what you're going through.
Yeah.
And we don't know when you had to cry or when you had to, or maybe some days that you don't even want to get up.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to go to the gym, but you're there at 4 or 5 in the morning, I think, every day.
Yes.
So that's what we want to know. And many people are going to actually learn from you. And maybe they're going to relate to your story and help so many agents that are thinking of, this is not for me. I want to quit. Over 90%, we know over 90% of people who get the real estate license quit
Quit. Yes.
because of all these things. They don't know how to do things. They feel lonely. They think this is not for them. Um, this is not like an instant business that you're going to make money right away. That's what a lot of people think, that, oh my God, they make a lot of money. It's like, okay,
It doesn't happen overnight.
it doesn't happen
Mm-hmm.
overnight. You get one deal and you get paid 3 months later. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have to split. At the end
And
of
it
the
could
day,
fall right
it could
before
fall, and
closing.
you don't get paid after working three
Yeah.
months. So, we have to let people know so they can appreciate our career. And
And what
actually, real
goes on.
estate agents also, they appreciate themselves. So, thank you for coming.
No, thank you,
And
Kari.
Danny, I'm just going to share one short story for all those agents that are maybe watching us or they're going to watch later in YouTube, um, or my Facebook. But for those realtors that don't think that this is for them, please, please, please don't quit before you talk to somebody that maybe went through what you're going through.
Mm-hmm.
There is always a way. There is always some kind of help somewhere.
Absolutely.
Okay. And that's why we're doing this. Even if you don't work for my same company, I don't care. And Danny don't care.
Mm-hmm.
If you are thinking about changing offices, or you're thinking about opening some new like market, or like I did, I went to the international market without even knowing what I was doing. Um, I think you had a few changes in your career as well. But there's always a way to doing it. I had a story with this realtor that I feel kind of like um sad about it, because she came to my office asking for help. She came from an ex office, I'm not going to give names, from another company where she didn't have any kind of help, no help whatsoever. And she was there for a year. She didn't close one deal. So she was desperate because she went from a full time job. She quit. She went full into real
Wow.
estate. And she's single. So that's the only income. So she was desperate. Look, I need help. And you know me a little bit, I'm very kind of like, um
Yeah.
move, you gotta do it,
Mm-hmm.
you gotta do it, don't just think about it, just do it.
Yeah, you need action.
Exactly. So I was like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. And I committed to her, and I said, before 2024 ends, you're gonna close 3 or 4 transactions. In 2 months, she closed 3 transactions with me.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. So, but of course, I was pushing her with the calendar. You know how we block calendars,
Yes.
and you have to do
Very
this,
important.
and the cold calling and all that stuff. So we were doing all that, and that's why she had those closings. And then she came the other day, and I said, what happened? Are you okay? I kind of like saw her kind of like stressing. And I said, what happened? She's like, I can't take this. pressure. And I said, it's my pressure or it's the business pressure?
Mm-hmm.
What is it that you can't take? And she's like, I don't know, but I feel so much pressure. That's what real estate is.
Correct.
Every single transaction is going to be a different monster.
Every single one. That's the
Every
beauty of
single
our
one.
job.
Every single one is going to be a different. If it's the inspection, the appraisal, the seller, the buyer, the other
Yes.
agent, the lender, whatever. There's always something that you're going to be like, oh my God, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? What's the new thing? And I said, okay, you were in an office where you didn't have any help. And now you are in an office where you have pretty much everything, the
Mm-hmm.
coaching, the training, the leads and everything, just closing, closing, closing. But you can't do it. So I think real estate is not for that kind of people that is like, what are you waiting? What are you looking for?
Yeah.
So this is not for everybody. So guys, if you're gonna get your real estate license, please go and talk to somebody before you actually spend your money.
Absolutely. I think that's something that they should teach us at the real estate school because we
Right.
have an expectation. A lot of us come from a 9 to 5 job where you get this 3 tasks completed and then you're good to go. You go and enjoy your weekends. And then we get into real estate where you're your own boss, but that also means that you need to be very careful with your time, what you're doing, how do you delegate things throughout the day. And it can get overwhelming. Like, we'll be lying if
Yeah.
we just say, oh, it's so easy. We just wake up and like the transactions come to us. It doesn't work that way. So I think like having the right mindset and the expectations from the beginning that it's a business. So you're no longer the 9 to 5. Now you're your own boss. And that comes with responsibility. So
Yeah.
it's like opening a store, right? Like
Yeah.
you see, I grew up in a family where my family, they have businesses. My dad's a business owner. So I grew up seeing the hustle, seeing
Exactly.
that you take calls after hours, that you have to work more certain days than others.
Yep.
It's your baby. It's like you're raising. I don't have kids, but I'm sure you as a mom, you're probably
Yeah.
like your whole world
Of
revolves
course.
around your
Yeah.
son.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that for real
Yeah.
estate.
Yeah.
So agents like that, I mean, I don't blame it. I think we all have been, at a point where it's like this is overwhelming, but I also feel like that's the only way they're gonna grow.
Yeah.
Because if you get stuck just thinking about this is so overwhelming, but you don't do any action, you don't find a way to get out of that,
Yeah.
then you're never gonna grow. And like,
Exactly.
especially, I would say a very important thing in this business is looking for people like that are ahead of you. So, for example, like, there's things that I've called you, hey, Kari, I have an international client. How do you deal with this?
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
have great mentors like Monica that
Yeah.
like, what do I do? Like, teach me.
Yeah.
There's other people that have been there where you are right now. So they have felt stuck before, they feel overwhelmed.
Yeah.
So looking for mentors and seeing how other people are doing it, that's the key in
That's
this
the best
business.
way to go. Yes.
Yes. So
Don't.
that's why I love this podcast.
Yes. That. I mean, be humble. Be. Like
Mhm.
just go and ask anybody, how is it? And if
Correct.
that's something that you think, oh my God, I can't take that. I don't think I can do it. Don't start doing it because it can get even
Mhm.
worse.
Yeah.
But anyways, that was kind of like a long introduction, but I love it. So Danny, share with us your background. Who was Daniela before? Where you come from? Why real estate? Tell us a little bit about you so people can know who you are.
Absolutely. Well, first, I want to thank you, Carrie, for having me here. I really admire you. You're my friend, but more than my friend, I admire you as a
Thank you.
realtor, as a mom, as a professional. I think you're awesome. So
Thank
it's
you.
an honor for me to be here
Likewise.
today.
Thank you.
Well, I was born and raised in Venezuela. That's where I went to school. That's where I grew up, where everything happened until I moved here about, I would say, almost 10 years ago. Times goes by so fast when
It's
you're
only 10
busy.
years ago.
Yes, yes.
Wow.
So 10 years ago, I moved to the States. So I was out of high school. I was already going to the university in Venezuela, but just a big life change event in our family. We decided to move here to the US. So, as many immigrants,
Mhm.
when you get to this country, it's like, what do I do now? It's a different language, it's a different culture. Everything is so new. It was like overwhelming. I feel like someone just pulled a rug from underneath me, and now I had to build something. So I didn't get into real estate until about 5 years ago. So yeah, around 5 years ago. Before real estate, I worked as a nanny. I worked in restaurants. I was a server. Um, just many jobs, like when you
Like
get to
we
this
all
country,
do.
yes, we all like try to find a way to make it in this country. But
Hmm.
I will say one thing as an immigrant that we have is work ethic.
Yep.
So if it's, like I see it as a blessing because many people are complaining about little things. I see it as an opportunity. So the work ethic that I had to learn, getting over, oh, I'm sad I left my country. This is
My
something new.
friends, my
Yes,
family,
you only have a short amount of time to be sad.
el
And it's like,
barrio.
yeah, you gotta get to work.
Yep.
If not, you're not gonna survive here.
Yep.
So I started in real estate after flipping a house. So yeah,
Oh wow!
it was very
I didn't know that
interesting.
one.
Yes, yes. So um um I was in a relationship and he was a general contractor. So
Okay.
we decided to buy a house, we flip it, and we sold it. I sold it for sale by owner.
The ones that you call now is like you need an agent, but
I
you
was
actually
like,
sold it.
yeah, I was like, I can do this. But it was also like in the COVID area where you will put a
Oh,
house for sale.
yeah.
And you literally, I put it on the market, and like in 3 minutes, I
God.
already had calls and text messages and people wanting to see it the same day. So you know what I thought?
And
This,
you
this
thought
was
that was
very
gonna be,
easy.
and you thought that was gonna be
Yes.
forever.
I was like, why am I gonna pay an agent 3% commission on the listing side and then 3% commission for buyers if I can just put it on the MLS myself and pay $100?
Oh my god!
So yes, imagine that. I had the wrong expectation when then I got my license and the
But you know
market
what?
changed.
I'm sure that helps you now to know how Facebooks think.
Absolutely, yes. And I also think like it would have been a different story if it was today's market.
Oh,
Yes.
you'll be sitting there waiting.
I
Okay.
would probably wouldn't like be in real estate at all.
Right.
So it was a blessing. We flipped the house. It was great. Like we made good money, and I was like, you know what? Might as well. I'm just gonna get my license because
I
I
can
would
do
just
this.
yes, I can do this. So I went and I did like you say, just 2 weeks class online, got my license, and I was like, okay, I'm a real estate agent now. So what do I do? Who's gonna call my phone now? Where are the
Where
buyers
are
and
all the
sellers?
clients?
Yes, I'm like, I thought once I make my business cards, like people are gonna be calling me. So yeah, it didn't happen that way. So of course, as you know, nobody was calling me. I was brand spanking new, and I also thought, big mistake. If you're a new agent, please seek mentors and people that will help you
Yeah.
because I used to think, why do I need to split my commission with somebody
Oh
else?
yeah.
Right? If I'm the one doing the job, why
Yeah.
do I need to split
Yeah.
the commission? So guess what I did? I went to a 100%
Yeah.
commission brokerage. I
You're on your
mean,
own right there.
you're on your own. So I signed up for the brokerage, and then I was like, okay, well, where are the classes and the training? And
Where's my office?
yes, where's my office? They're like, I never even went to the office like to work, nothing. Like I was just like, there was nothing for me to do. So 100% commission, brand new agent.
And then you saw all those top producers closing like crazy.
Then I was like,
You're like,
how are they getting buyers and sellers? How does this work? So yes, I didn't come up from a background from sales. I was like I said, I was a nanny, did restaurants, then I was working for like child abuse and neglect prevention program, but it was not sales.
yeah.
I love people, I love talking to people, I love helping people, but I didn't have the right systems or nothing. So yeah, that was a start to my real estate career.
Wow. That's awesome, Danny, that you share because that happens to many, many, many. I want to say most of the agents that actually get the license, they go to any brokerage because you can go and sign in with any.
Mm-hmm.
What I always say is like, as soon as you get the license or even before, do some research
Mm.
about what you want to do
Yes.
because they don't gonna tell you that what kind of business you want to do, where do you want to go. You go to an office, they offer you a lot of things, training and this, and they assign you a mentor. The mentor, sometimes you don't even find them, because that happened to me. I had a mentor and I never met that mentor. And do some research,
Mm-hmm.
because realtors, we don't have the luxury of going to school for 5 years, getting to know the teachers, the professors, the whoever. We just go and do whatever we can. And it's
Mm-hmm.
dangerous. It's dangerous for us,
It could be
and it's
very
dangerous
dangerous.
for our clients. We can get in trouble, we can get them in trouble. And it's the most important asset that the people actually purchase
Absolutely.
or sell. It's in our hands, and we don't know what to do with that. So,
Mm-hmm.
thank you for sharing that. Yeah, always look for a mentorship, always look for a company that is going to help you at the beginning, that is going to train you. Even if you don't get paid, shadow somebody.
That's key. I think that was what transformed my business. So nowadays we live in a world of social media. So it's very easy to find who is doing well in your market. It's
Yeah,
very easy.
yeah,
You start stalking a few people and
yeah,
then try to build some type of connection. So that's what I did.
yeah. How
I
do you do
start
it? You stock money.
yes, yes. I became a stalker of Monica, which it's one of the top producers in our area. And like one thing that I've learned, it's people at the top, they want to help other
Oh, yes.
people. There is no competition at the top. They're
Mm-hmm.
like to contribute and help others.
Yeah.
So that's how you know
The
what a,
competition is at the bottom.
correct. So I had the blessing, the opportunity of meeting her, and basically, I told her where I was. I'm a brand new agent. At the moment I met her, I had already closed one deal through an open house. So, an open house worked. I got a client, sold property, but then I was
That
like,
was your resume.
that's it. One sale, and what do I do now? So I met with her, and like I left that first meeting with her like, oh wow, I have a lot of work to do, because she's like, you need to see this as a business. So a business needs a structure, from a business bank account
Yep.
to what you're doing during the day, what are
Yep.
your most important tasks to do. So she gave me kind of like a roadmap, and then she also gave me the opportunity to shadow her.
Oh, wow. That's
So
priceless.
that was priceless. So I always tell new agents or anyone struggling, like, try to connect to people, and not from a place of like, oh, I just want to get from you. See also what you can offer them. So if she needed like help with anything, like I was there. If she was like, oh, I have this physical appointment and maybe she didn't want to go by herself, I was there
You
with
went.
her. So I
Not getting
became,
paid.
no, no. But then I became her assistant. That was
Oh,
amazing too. But at the beginning, I just, whatever she needed, I tried to, like, be there and
wow.
shadow and learn how to negotiate things, how the transactions work. So I would say finding a mentor, people that are doing better than you, and just basically like immersing yourself in like their, what they're doing. It helps a lot. It helps a lot. So, and if you don't have the opportunity of having someone close to you, then seek mentors like through podcasts. There's so many YouTube videos. The information is out there. The
Yep.
problem is action. So,
Yes.
like sometimes we just get stuck getting prepared to take
Mm-hmm.
action, but we don't really learn until we do it. So, like people are like, I'm practicing my scripts, 3 months practicing how to do something, and
And you know
never do
what?
it.
I completely relate to that, because you know me, I'm always taking classes, studying, I'm always going to
Mm-hmm.
events, I'm always trying to learn. I've been a student for like ever since I was school. I like to read, I like to study. I was always like the good student. But I got to the point that I was learning so much, but I wasn't applying.
Correct.
So if you ask me a question, I knew it. I was like, oh my God, you can do this, but I wasn't doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, how can it be that my business is not moving forward? I know so much, but I wasn't applying like on the daily basis. It's like, okay, this is what I learned from, let's say I follow 𝗞𝗏𝐿𝐻. What is he doing? And he would be like talking about a lot of things. I'm like, oh, that makes sense, but I didn't do it. So that's when I realized, like, you know what? It's true. Even if you learn, let's say, 10 things, apply two,
Mm-hmm.
and they're going to change your business.
So in this career, we have the shiny object syndrome. There is people calling us every single day. Hey, I got leads in your area. Hey, you should do YouTube. Hey, you should call. Maybe you should do open houses. And this is what worked for me. I would say try, different things and you will find what works for you. And whatever that is that works for you, then do it. And don't get distracted because
Yep.
that's the key to move forward. If one day I'm a YouTuber and that's all I'm gonna do, YouTube, that's fine. There's people that are very successful
Yeah.
doing that.
Yeah.
But you can't be doing YouTube and calling like at the same time. So
Yeah.
you have to find what works best for you. Like I found cold calling, which was not my thing, a year ago. I
Yeah.
said never, I would never cold call until I did, and I started getting listings, and I'm like,
I
this
like
is
this.
not too difficult. Like actually, sometimes we're our worst enemies. We say, I'm not gonna try this. I'm not gonna try that.
Mhm.
I used to be so against doing certain things because of the perception of other people, right? Because
Yep.
I didn't want to be salesy. I didn't want to, oh my gosh, I hate when people call me. But you know what? When you have the right intentions and you know the place that you're coming from to help, people
Mhm.
can smell that. People can also smell your BS.
Of course.
So when I
Of
start
course.
cold calling, I say, I know God, and I always pray before I call. It's
Yeah.
just my thing. Like,
Yeah.
I know there's people out there that needs my help.
And that is so important, Danny, what you just said, because I always call Fisbos and expires,
I
and
remember when you like
I
started
started
doing
doing
it
it.
and you were very successful. I mean, you were
Yeah.
very successful doing it. I'm like, how does she do this? I'm like, how? Like, and yeah,
And
now I'm on the other side. Now I
and
understand.
this is the thing. This is the funny part. I'm not against the scripts. I want to say you always
Hmm.
need to have your script, kind of like to have an idea what to say. But English is my second language. You can tell. I have my accent. Sometimes I say anything. They don't. When I was making calls, first of all, I didn't know what to say.
Yeah.
Then I was like, whatever, I'm just gonna do it. What are they gonna do? It's just gonna hang up on me
Yeah.
and say, you know what?
What's the worst?
What's the worst? So I start calling people. And I had some calls that after I hang up, I was just laughing at myself. I was like, you know what, you're just doing this and you're wasting your time. But I was like, no, I know I can do it. But what I actually found out after making calls is that every time I talk to a person, I'm just very real with them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm not coming from, I want your business, I want your money. I'm coming from, what can I do for you?
Correct.
And that's a sentence that I always say. Is there anything I can do for you? That's all I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want me to list your property? I will do it. Do you want me to help you, giving you some tips how to sell your own property yourself? I will do it from the bottom of my heart. And I go and I drop something off for them, little tips. Hey, this is how you can try selling your house. And I found out when you don't make those calls or when you don't approach those people, however you want to do it, knocking doors, making calls, whatever, you're not doing what you're supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
You're not serving that people. It's like a doctor closing the doors on you. Say, I'm not going to help you because I don't feel like today. And you're going to die.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Basically.
much what it is.
Basically.
Because what I found is like when I go to those appointments with FISBOs, just to go and make a friend and talk to them and see what is it that they need, they had a lot of investors trying to buy their properties for half price, taking advantage of them. I had this couple from Colombia, retired. That was the only thing that they had left for them. And they were ready to sign a contract with a investor, but he wasn't an investor. He was pretty much, I'm gonna say it, a wholesaler between,
Mm-hmm.
finding a buyer and
Yeah.
trying to this. And and I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, yeah, I'm signing this contract because he told us that this and that, whatever. Like, no, no, you can get more of your house. Your house, the value of your home is this,
Mm-hmm.
and you can sell it for this, and you're gonna end it up with this. They were like, really? They didn't know nothing. Sometimes we think that people already know everything. They don't know. And if you don't help them, you're not doing what you're supposed to do.
Exactly.
Helping.
And that should be, at the end of the day, that should be every realtor's goal, to help people accomplish their goals, right? And to
Exactly.
help them. And I think that's what differentiates the successful real estate agents and the ones that decide to quit, because the money will come. You and I know that the
Yeah.
money could be really good, but that's an add-on of when you're living your purpose and you're doing
Exactly.
what you're here to do. So
Exactly.
I tell everyone, like new agents or people that ask me, like, how do you do it and what are you doing? First, find what you're good at and do it, and don't get distracted. Right? The shiny object syndrome
Yeah.
that we have in this
Yeah.
career.
Yeah.
And second, like, find why you're really doing this,
Yeah.
because you will get overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Some days you will want to quit. Some days I'm like, wow, if my phone rings one more time about an inspection or the pipes at a home, or whatever, like something, that I'm gonna lose my mind. And then I take a deep breath. I'm like, this
So
is what I was here for.
here, that comes to my mind. If anybody sees your social media
Mm-hmm.
or people like me that I know you and I see your life, you're young, you're pretty, you're like great in fitness, and you can share your experience in fitness, because I think you're doing some kind of videos now with
Mm-hmm.
the fitness and helping people with that, which is great. Um, and your career being so young and all that stuff, anybody could think that, oh my God, she has the perfect life, and you have a nice boyfriend, and you have your love and everything. It is like, oh my God, she has a perfect life. She wakes up pretty, goes to the gym. She's like doing all this stuff, and then she goes and get all these listings, and then she has her family, her boyfriend, and traveling, and everything is perfect, right?
Mm-hmm.
How is your life to get to that point? What did you have to do to actually be what you are right now? And I'm sure there are some days that you don't want to get up to go to the gym, or some days that you don't feel like
Mm-hmm.
making calls. If somebody says that I love making calls, I think they're lying. There's some days you're like, I love making calls. I don't think you
Love
love it.
it.
It's not bad. You can have
Uh-huh.
fun, and you can have your mindset, oh, I'm gonna have fun
Yeah, yeah,
today.
yeah.
But it's like, it's not like my favorite thing to do,
Yeah,
but it's needed. And that's where the money's at.
correct.
But anyway, so share a little bit what you had to do and what do you do every day to have the quote unquote perfect life, and like you have it all for like other people from
Someone
outside,
seeing it on the other
and
side.
you being so young.
So there's a couple of things that come into place. Um, One that I would say it's the main one, and it might sound a little cliche, but it's my relationship with God. So I
Oh,
feel like once I started seeking Him, a lot of my worries disappear, because as realtors, we're always looking for the next deal. We're always, where's my commission going to come from? But when you know that you have a Father in heaven that's taking care of you, you know that doors will open, things will happen, and you just have to put yourself in places to be blessed. So I always tell people, like, it's not that somebody's lucky or that's God's favorite, or all of the good things happen to them. It doesn't work that way. You have to put yourself in the situations, right? So the situations are, I make calls. I'm very structured with my day. I have a routine. If I don't do all of that, where is that blessing gonna,
mm-hmm,
fit
mm-hmm,
without, me doing something? So the blessings are not gonna come while I'm,
Sitting there
sitting
waiting.
there watching a novela all day
Yep.
long in my
Yep.
couch. The phone is not gonna ring.
Yep.
Things are not gonna happen, right? So when I understood first that God's in control of everything and that I could have all of these goals, but He has something better for me, that just helps me, number one. And then number two, just finding why you're doing what you're doing, right? Like, what's the purpose? Why do I get up early every morning? Why do I go to the gym? Why do I make my calls? Why do I spend time with my family? Like, I always think about my future self,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, Daniela in 10, 20 years, am I going to be proud of the things that I was doing today to get to that point or not? Right? Like,
Yeah.
imagine
Wow.
like there would in 10 years,
Like Daniela's watching you, like, what do you do?
right? Like,
Or hey, you did it great.
yeah, because time is gonna run no matter what. Like, that's one thing we can't control. Like, you know, every day it's like minutes and hours, and times it's always gonna pass,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
But what are you doing to make yourself proud in 10, 15, 20 years, or even in a year from now? Because when you start working on yourself, you can see results immediately.
And I think that's so important. I'm sorry to interrupt you because it's so important for people to know why you do what you do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's so easy to say, "Oh, I'm doing it because of my family." Okay, and why?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm doing because of my kids. In this case, I always say my son is the reason of everything for me. But why? He's ready to leave. Then what else? He's
Mm-hmm.
gonna have his own life. What else? It has to be a deeper why
Absolutely.
that you want to impact either your own life, which is I think the first why we should have. Like, be proud of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
See yourself in the mirror and say, like, man, I did it good. Even if I failed, I made mistakes, but I woke up and I changed and I did this.
Yeah.
Sometimes there are moments in life that are gonna change your life, gonna be breakpoints, gonna be breakthroughs for you. Say, hello, you gotta wake up, you know? And I'm sure and I know you have a few of those, one
Yes.
especially. And I'd like you to share that because many people think that Daniela's life is easy. Karina's
Mm-hmm.
life is easy. Oh my gosh, she's so lucky. How did she get there? She's been always lucky. I don't believe in luck.
Yeah, me neither.
You know, everything has a result. Everything is a result of something that you did before, even if it's positive or negative.
Mm-hmm.
That's the result. And when I met you, you were one person, lovely, nice, but you weren't so focused on what you wanted to do, if
Mm-hmm.
I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, no, you're totally
You
right.
know,
You know me for years now.
you had so much energy and you were always nice and you were always willing to do things. You always had the aim of doing things, but you weren't so like, now I hear you and I see your eyes and you're convincing me of, girl, in 10 years, see yourself and see if you're proud of yourself. And
Mm-hmm.
you're not doing it because of kids or somebody else. You're doing it for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
What happened?
So a few things happened. I would say the main one was having cancer last year. Of course, that was life changing and something that I would never wish on anyone, but it would definitely change your life if you go through something like that. Like you said, we have wake up calls, in our journey, and things that will happen that we can't control, right? But what we are able to control is how we react and how we work on ourselves and what we become after that. So when I was diagnosed with cancer, of course, it was right at the beginning of the year too. So I sat down. I'm like, I have all of these goals,
The vision board.
vision board. I have all of these things I want to accomplish, and let's go. Let's get this done. And then January 19th last year, I get diagnosed with cancer. I'm like, that wasn't in my vision board.
A year ago.
Yeah, a year
About
ago.
a year ago.
Yes, yes. So I get diagnosed, and I'm kind of like in a twilight zone. Like, what do I do? Like, how did this work? You have to have surgery, and then we'll decide. And like, I went from all the goals I have for the year, like New Year's resolution, to you have all these doctor's appointments and this treatment, and you have to have surgery. And I was like, wait a minute, like this wasn't in my plans,
Yeah.
right?
And being so young and
Something,
healthy.
yeah, something that I didn't like. If you were telling me, like, if you ever, no, never ever in a million years, like, it's something that I thought it could happen to me, right? But that also taught me that anything could happen,
At
right?
anytime.
At any time. So, like I said, it's had the decision that you make and how you come afterwards. So, of course, I went through my surgery, my treatment. I mean, having God, the right mindset, and my family was key. But then I also realized that, like, we have now, right? Like, anything could happen, and I don't want to be in a situation where, like, I will regret not doing the things that I'm supposed to. So when I was sick, I maybe I was crazy, but I still kept working,
I saw you.
right? So I knew that there was a higher purpose and why I was going through what I was going through, because it taught me, like, I could be here or not, like, the next day, right? Like, it's
Mm,
like,
yeah.
oh, you have cancer and we don't know what's
And
going to
we don't know
happen,
what's
right?
gonna happen.
So it's very scary, but it also teaches you how to trust God and in yourself. So I continue working, I continue praying, and just I never let myself get to a point where I was like, I'm so down that I don't want to do anything anymore. Like, I knew I was the only one who could get me out of that with God. So my mindset was key during that time. That's why I still kept working. So I still tried to keep some transactions, and I had an amazing support system, like other agents. I had Monica, I had people around me that were, just a blessing during that time, because they helped me to continue to, close things while I was going through my surgery treatment and all of that. But I would say for me, it was life changing. Like, it helped me look inside of me, right? Like, things that I needed to work on myself. It was a lot of, like, alone time too. Like,
Hmm.
just in prayer and just
Just thinking.
thinking, like, what's the reason, right? Like, why did I have to go through all of this? And not from a point of, like, poor me, more of, like, how can I impact other people and, like, help other people going through the same at some point. So now I'm not quiet. Like, at the beginning, I was like, how Hispanics
Hmm.
are, like,
Hmm.
no cuentes nada, no, like,
Hmm.
that's not good to be sharing stuff, like,
Yeah.
like, I have
Like
people.
feeling even like kind of like con vergüenza, like
Yes, I had people telling me. I remember someone sent me a message because I started sharing. At some point, I was like, you know what? Like, I already told who I needed to tell directly that I'm going through this, but I want people to see that, like, God's real and there is a light at the end of the tunnel, even without, even through all the tribulations and things that I'm going through.
yeah.
So I started sharing my journey, and I had people telling me, like, sabes que hay mal de ojo, like, the bad eye, whatever, like, if you share too much, like, if you share too much, like, the
Yeah,
cancer's
bad
gonna
luck.
get worse. And I was like, that's a horrible way to see it. And I was like, I'm just gonna ignore that, because I know, like, sharing this can help someone. And believe it or not, I still have messages. Like, a few days ago, I went on my like, spam on TikTok, where I was sharing my story, and someone shared with me that they went through the same thing at the same time. Like, she
Oh
was diagnosed,
wow.
like, 2 weeks after I started posting, and she's like, and I was sharing, like, how you were doing, so thank you for being with me even from the distance. So I always, like, from that moment on, I always take everything like there's a higher purpose and why we're going through this. So, I mean, I couldn't stay the same, right? Like,
Of course.
I had to start living now how my future self,
Yeah.
right? So I
Yeah.
was like, what do I want to accomplish? I want to be able to help other people. I want to be a better agent. I want to, okay. So I started doing my, more coaching, learning more, putting myself out there, making calls, failing many
Yeah.
times,
Yeah.
working on my routine, on my mindset. Like, people ask me, like, how are you so confident to, like, because I had to build my self-confidence
Yeah.
as well.
Of course.
And I'm like, when you keep the promises to yourself, you build up confidence, right?
And the thing that you went through that, I'm sure you had all these like, oh, pobrecita, I'm feeling sorry for you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
pobrecita. And I think that word of pobrecita in English, how do you say, oh, poor
Poor thing.
Danny?
Yeah, but
I feel like it's so diminished. It's
mm-hmm.
like, don't feel sorry for me because I can assure you that I'm going to be better than
Yeah.
you. And not trying to make people don't do it for, trying to
Yeah.
be
People
bad.
have come from a good place. Um, but like now after having cancer and like experiencing that, like when someone is going through it, like I don't I don't want people to feel sorry for me,
Exactly.
right? Because it's like I understand this is something difficult, but I'll get through this.
Yeah.
Like or
Yeah.
people will
Yeah.
reach out and say, "Let me know if I can do anything." And I'm like, I would never ask, like after having cancer or having something traumatic, instead of asking, let me know if I can do anything, I'm like, hey, I'm sending,
Yeah.
DoorDash to your house. What do like
Yeah.
my mindset changed on how I help other people too. So now I'm come from a place of serving people because when you're going through it, you don't ask for, like,
Yeah.
let me know what I can do. You never hear from that person again. And like you're not
Yeah.
gonna ask
Yeah.
them,
Yeah.
right? So now I see it differently.
And it's so easy to become a victim of
Yes.
everything that happens to us.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I got sick, so oh my God, poor me, I'm not gonna be able to work now.
Mm-mm.
So that would be the reason why I quit, and that would be a big reason why I can't keep making calls and business. So I had to quit.
Yeah. I don't want to sound harsh, but I think like we all have things in our life.
Yeah,
Everybody's battling something.
yeah,
Everybody has their own things in their life, in their family. It might not be themselves. It might be a loved
yeah,
one
yeah,
going through something. It might be a bad relationship. It might be anything. There's so many, things going on in the world, right? With
yeah,
all of us.
yeah,
But you decide if you're going to become a victim of it or not. So
yeah,
now when people make excuses, I can't see them the same way. And I understand there's some things that, like if you're really sick or I get it, but you have the power of changing things.
yeah. That's what I'm a big fan of Tony Robbins, and he always said you can be a victim or you can be a victor. Is that how
Mm-hmm.
you said it? And it's true.
Yeah.
Like in this case, you went through cancer, and it was a bad one. It wasn't like
Mm-hmm.
those that it was bad. Uh, I mean, but you weren't a victim.
No. And your mindset and your mind is so powerful. I can't even explain how it works. Like it's just very, very powerful and how you see things. Like I remember, so I work out every day pretty much, always healthy lifestyle, and then I have surgery and I can't even walk for like I can't get up
Yeah,
from the bed by myself, right? So I remember my nurse was the first day I had the surgery, the first night, the nurse, I loved him. He was like so nice. He's like, if you want to get out of here, you need to start walking. I'm like, I have wounds everywhere. It's like, okay. He's like, that's the key to start, to get out of here. That's a secret. And I'm like, well, you don't got to tell me
and
twice.
you did it.
Oh my gosh, yes. So then he comes back a few hours later and like, I'm ready to walk. It's like, no, 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 no. We need to wait for the PT, like the people that are gonna help you get up. I'm like, please, I'm ready to walk. He's like, ay, esta niña, he was Hispanic too, so he came with the, like the andadera, whatever, and I was like determined to walk. And he was like, I don't really think we should be doing this. Like, I know I told you that you should do it, but I'm like, you can't tell me this is how you accomplish something and then expect for me to just sit down. Like, I want to do it.
Yeah,
So I just kept telling myself, I got this, I got this. And I was like walking the hospital. Like I can tell you how many bedroom, like how many rooms they have in the floor, like who was staying in each room. Because I was just walking. I'm walking. People will go visit me. I'm like, let's go walk around. And I was there like with, they had to help me very slow to be able to like go around. But it's all in my mind. If I were to just say, I'm just gonna wait until I feel like I can walk again, I'll probably spend there like weeks. There was another person, another girl who had the same surgery at the same hospital like a week before me, and the nurses were telling me she was there for 2 weeks. I was out of there in like 3 days.
I remember.
Yes, I was like, I am ready to go. So your mind, how you control your mind is, it's powerful, because you're always gonna have self doubt. I was like, I might fall. I'm like, okay, but I'm not gonna know until I try.
So many people are gonna be like, because you have all these videos from like, influencers and all that stuff that they all talk about mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Mindset now it's the
It's
big
a
thing.
yeah, it's
Like everybody's talking about
uh
mindset,
huh.
and I'm a big believer on like to work your mind. But for people that actually like, don't give me that BS. What mindset? You have cancer. You could die, and you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Your business must be falling down. Or where? Don't don't give me that bullshit. I'm
Mm-hmm.
sorry, but that's where
Yeah.
pretty much people say. What is having a good mindset in your words, not in influencers' words, because you went through that. How did you get to the point or the state of not becoming a victim, not like quitting on yourself, not just the
Mm-hmm.
business? How do you do that?
So that's a really good question, because I used to think like, oh, people always say like affirmations and this and that, but like the best way to have a good mindset, like I said before, find your why. Like, am I gonna be able to tell a good story in the future, or am I gonna be a victim? Right? That's number one. And number two, it's keeping the promises that you make to yourself. I knew when
Mm,
I went for surgery that I was gonna come out and that I was gonna be fine. Like, I knew that. You have to be the one to believe it first,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Even before the surgery, I already had a trip plan, and my doctor is like, "Are you sure? Like, we need to do surgery." I'm like, "I already have a trip paid for. I need to go renew my passport in Mexico." They're like, "But it's kind of like elevation, and you're not feeling well, and your hemoglobin, and all of this stuff." I'm like, "I'm gonna be fine." I went to my trip, and then I came back and I had surgery. But why? I believed it. I believed that I was gonna be fine. Like, I always tell myself, think about your worst moment, like that you ever had
Yeah,
in your life,
yeah,
and you made it through.
yeah.
Things always work out one way or another, but you gotta believe it first. So I knew going through surgery, I'm gonna be fine. Recovering, I'm gonna be fine.
And guys, this is something real. I mean, we're talking to a real person right here.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes we see those podcasts that you see people like, like huge and like, billionaires and millionaires, and they're talking about kind of the same thing that you're talking right now. But people see them so far. It's
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, yeah, because they have all the money. Yeah, because they have all the help. I'm sure they have the best doctors. I'm sure they
Yep.
had everything because they have. But this is like real life
Mm-hmm.
from a person that didn't have a lot of money,
Mm-mm.
that her career was kind of like starting at, like you had all these goals
Yeah.
and young, and you went through that, but you just made it happen. You believed in yourself, you believed in God, first of all, you never lost your faith, and here you are right now. Tell us, what are you doing right now?
Well, working.
Working.
Aren't we always working, right? Um, well, I'm
How is your
becoming,
life right now?
yes, I am, honestly, I'm working on becoming my future self. That's what I'm doing. So, how I want to see myself in the future. So, what things do I need to do now? And that's maybe why I love the gym, because you can go to the gym every day for a week and you don't see a difference. You can go and work out 5 hours one day and you don't see a difference. You start seeing the difference when you keep consistency, right?
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, I lost a couple pounds, or I gained some, muscle, or I did this or that. The gym, it's like you could translate it to real life in any aspects of your life. So for me, it's like, what actions am I doing every single day to become that person? So yes, I do have a very, I wouldn't say strict, but I do have a routine that I follow. I do believe in pouring into yourself first. So getting up in the morning, I read my Bible, have some time for myself. Um, a lot of people say meditate and this and that. Like, find whatever works best for you, but do something that you're going to
Yeah.
feel better and remind yourself why you're doing what you're doing. Then I go to the gym. I don't know why. There's probably like science behind it, but I feel like when I go to the gym, even if it's a short workout, even if
Hmm.
it's just to go walk or do my cardio,
That makes a
whatever,
difference.
it makes a huge difference. Like, your brain, you're awake, you're in a
Yeah.
different mindset.
Yeah.
I go home, and in the morning, that's my time to prospect and generate leads.
Yeah.
And that's something that I had to become very disciplined. Like, because there's going to be a lot of distractions. I mean, even like, I love my family, but my mom likes to call me in the mornings, and like,
Like mamas Latinas,
yes,
they
yeah,
try
no,
to talk to you all
y
the
ella
time.
me llama varias veces, ¿por qué no me atiende, por favor? Y yo, una emergencia. No, solo te quería saludar. And I love it, like, I love talking to my family. They're a huge part of my life. But I know that I can be that person that's, like, able to make a difference in our legacy, and like, provide for my family or the people around me, and serve my purpose, if I'm not like disciplined with my goals. So yeah, from 9 to 12, I'm like, I have lead generation, that whatever that looks for,
Yeah.
people. Like, for me, it would be
Calls,
on the
text,
post, yeah,
whatever.
handwritten notes, whatever works
Yeah.
for you. But I have a set schedule. Then in the afternoon, try to, schedule appointments.
Appointments.
And then at nighttime, that's my time. So I put my phone in do not disturb. I try to, sometimes things come up and I have to work a little bit late, but again, it's a business. So you are the one who decide how to manage that.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to travel, work on myself. So I'm going to a few conferences here. I do believe that when you put yourself and God, God first,
Hmm.
but then yourself, and
Yeah.
working, becoming the best version of yourself, it will reflect in the
So you
other
can help the
areas.
others around you. Yeah,
Exactly.
definitely.
Yes. So that's what I'm doing.
So I saw your vision board,
Yes.
and it's really what you are saying. What you're
Mhm.
saying right now, guys, it's not something that she's saying it because we are live. By the way, this is entre nos and between us, but we're
Yeah.
live. So
Okay.
nobody's gonna know what you're sharing here. That's
They need
the
to keep it a secret.
that's a secret. So guys, please don't share what she's saying. Um, because your vision board is God,
Hmm.
it's health, your fitness, it's helping your clients, helping the families.
Hmm.
It's your love and traveling with the person that is with you, your family. So that's pretty much where you just said in all this time. I've seen so many vision boards with a big check
Hmm.
or money or a new car or a new house, which is nothing wrong with that, guys. If you have that, that's fine.
Yeah.
But all that could be the result of this, what you just said.
Absolutely.
You can have the new car, the new house, you can have the cruise, you can have anything if you have faith, if you believe in yourself, if you actually know why you're doing this, if it's your family, if it's yourself, if it's your kids, if it's your mom. I know how important your family is for you. Your grandma, your abuelita.
I
I
see.
know she's like, like you adore her.
Yeah.
And your mom, just the stories that you have shared with me. I don't know her like, personally, but I can relate to that because, we are Hispanics. We know how moms are. They
Hmm.
want to know everything, but they are there for you
Yeah.
all the
Yeah.
time. So I can see a young lady right here, professional, like love your family, that love yourself, that is so disciplined, that go and do the fitness and everything like so perfect. But do you have, can you share the worst moment that the mindset didn't work, that you thought that was it for you, either business or whatever, that actually made you think that, why am I doing this?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to do it anymore. So I'm sure you had some of those. And I think
Absolutely.
we all did. So share just a moment of your life that you felt lonely, even though you had your beautiful family and people around, and you thought that you just couldn't make it.
So I will share one. I don't know. I've shared this before. So don't share this with anyone. But like you say, like we sometimes see like the perfect life from the outside, but we don't really know what's going on behind doors. So a few years ago, I thought I had my plans, my goals, and what my life was gonna look like, and things weren't working out the way that I wanted. So I was married before, and we were trying to have kids, and that wasn't working. So we went through, the infertility stuff, and it's something that we don't really share with
Right.
people. Like, like again, like especially Hispanics, that's something that like
You can't
you
share
can't
that.
share that.
How
Yeah,
can you
that's
say
the
that you can't have kids?
exactly. And like also, I'm almost 30 and I don't have kids. That's also in our culture. Like everybody at
What's wrong with
20,
her?
21, they're already
Yeah.
having kids,
Yeah.
which also like it's the different culture. But
Yeah.
people will ask me like, hey, when are you guys having kids?
Yep. Yeah.
Hey, y los niños, y when are
Yeah.
you gonna have a baby? And
Yeah.
what they didn't know is that behind doors we're like struggling, like going to doctors and like asking like what's wrong with me, and like it was a very very painful time where who do you share that with? Like nobody, just the person that you're with. And of course, like my mom was involved, she knew what I was going through, but also God. And I think at that moment I kind of like resented God a little bit. Like, why am I going through this? Right? Like, why can't I have this
Yeah.
that I
Questioning it.
so want, like I want so bad? And I was like, there's people that,
Why me?
yeah. And like again, I before this real estate, I was in social work where I would see people, not making the best decisions, doing drugs and all of that, and they'll have kids. I'm like, why?
Why?
Like I have a good place for them to,
I'm
for to raise a
healthy. I'm
family. I'm
this. I'm that.
healthy, and
Yeah.
and I had to, surrender myself and know that there was a reason. So of course, again, I said I was married before. That relationship didn't end up working, but at that moment when I was going through it, I feel like the world was just like coming apart. And that helped me when like now I can look back and say, okay, now I know why that didn't work. I know why I didn't have kids at that moment.
Yeah.
When I was going through it, it felt like, why me? Why is everybody else is having kids, right? Because when you want something, it's like you want a red car, you see red cars everywhere,
And as a woman, you feel like you're guilty.
right? And I feel like I'm broken. Like
Yeah.
why can't I
Yeah.
accomplish this? Like I am successful in other areas. Like I compete in bodybuilding. That was like at the time I was starting real estate. Like I'm starting real estate.
Yeah.
Like I'm going doing all of this, and why can't I get pregnant? Right.
Yeah.
So that was a moment where it was a very, very low moment where, like you said, like mindset, like I couldn't understand why I was going through it.
And nobody knew it.
No, but yes, exactly. But now I look back and I'm like, there was a reason, right?
Yeah.
Like I had a plan, but God had one,
Yep.
different
Yep.
and better.
Yep.
So now I try to think about that when I go through other situations like cancer or losing a deal or, not getting a listing or whatever it is that happens. I'm like, we're closing this door because something better it's in the future, right? Something better is coming.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I always have in my, I don't believe in like the toxic positivity, like, oh, the house is on fire, oh, we're so happy that the house is on
No.
fire. I don't believe in that. I get my moments where I get frustrated, where I
Yeah.
want to cry, where I'm like, this is a lot that I feel overwhelmed. So that's why I rely so much in God, because that's the only, one I can go to and say, you know what, like, this sucks. Like, I don't understand why I'm going through this. It sucks, and my mindset's not working. Like, I'm right now, I just
Yeah.
need to cry, need to get some help. But it's not easy what you're going through it. But I promise that whatever it is that you're going through, things will pass, and one day you're gonna look back and it's like, oh my gosh, I went through it.
And actually, all those moments build who you are right now.
Yeah,
And the person that you are right now is attracting the right people,
absolutely.
which I know you have a great boyfriend right now
Yes,
and you're happy because you are in a happy place.
exactly. If
You know?
um and that's with everything, with love, with finances, with your job. Like, I do believe that we put things into, like, the world, right? Like, if you're not the best version of yourself, you're gonna start seeing problems everywhere and attracting that. Like, have you ever met people that's like a train wreck? Like, all the things happen to them. It's like, wow.
And it actually happens.
And it actually happens, but
Yeah.
they're always also complaining, right? So, but when you come from okay, there's a reason behind this, we're gonna get through it, like, we can do this, then it's different. You also start attracting those opportunities too.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's it. Like, even with calling, like, again, I have an accent, I'm from a different country. I was like, nobody's gonna,
Yeah.
believe me. And then one of my mentors, she was like, you need to change your mindset.
Yep.
Nobody's gonna believe you if you don't believe in yourself.
Exactly. They don't care about your accent.
No.
They don't.
Mm-mm.
They actually like it
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yes.
And
Right.
that is so true, because, and I think this is so like good for everybody to know that this doesn't happen like from here to in a year or 2 months or whatever. This is a daily thing.
Mm-hmm.
Every day when you wake up, if you win your morning, you win your day, and you win your week, and you win your
Yes.
month. Every day. And that's why so many people is like, oh, me levanté con el pie izquierdo. Meaning like, oh
You're
my
already
God,
putting that.
you already
Ya
put
está
that.
poniendo eso en el universo. Ya está
Everything bad is
diciendo.
going to happen to me
Mm-hmm.
today, because as soon as I woke up, something happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
And it actually does. If you put that mind, like, oh my God, everything's going to go wrong for me today because I woke up and maybe me golpeé, whatever.
Uh-huh.
But if you wake up and you put your mind and your heart in the right place, say, you know what, today, if I'm making calls, I'm gonna have great conversations.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm gonna have new friends. Not saying I want to make more money.
Yeah. Like, I feel like the money, I always say money will come. The money is just the result of you living your purpose and creating an impact in people's life.
Yeah,
Like,
which money, don't take me wrong, money is good.
it is.
You
It
know,
helps a
it
lot.
helps. Some people are like, oh, money is not important. That doesn't make you happy. It
Or they
makes
say
you
the
happy.
money is the root of all evil. I'm like, that's
No,
horrible. Like, that's not
no,
true.
no, because money gives you the opportunity to give yourself choices and options, and give the people that actually you love. Is like my son. Like, yeah, I've been broke before, and I didn't have an option for my son. And that's kind of one of the most horrible things that I've been through. It's
Mm-hmm.
like, oh my God, I have my baby. I'm a single mom. I
Mm-hmm.
have my son. What am I offering to him? And I think that was my breakthrough. When I had my son, he was already like 10 years old. And I wasn't young because I had my baby when I was 34. Because I went through the same thing that you kind of went with my ex. Um, and like, oh my God, he's gonna go to high school, he's gonna graduate. I'm not giving him options in life other than being broke,
Mm-hmm.
or asking for help to the government, or feeling like we're just broke.
Yeah.
So the moment I realized that and I changed the life, now I see my son having all the options that he wants, and money is not the limitation. It's like, this is why. I
Exactly.
had to do what I
Like
had to do.
you're changing your legacy. Like you're making an impact on your family, on your
Yeah,
life, on his life.
yeah, yeah,
And I would say, like, I don't have kids, but I see the example of my parents too.
yeah.
So again, every day I'm like, how am I gonna make my future, my kids
Are
proud? I
you
want
the
to have.
one in your life? Are you the
I
changing
am.
factor in your
I
life?
am. Yeah, I want to go see 𝗱𝐿 in a few months. I'm so excited,
I
counting
love him
the days to go see
because I'm
him.
the one in my life.
Yes.
You know, my parents were like very hardworking people. They're both professionals. My mom was a doctor, my dad an architect, but they always had the mindset like, Hispanic, like working for the kids and working,
Mhm.
working, working, working. Baby boomers, like everything
Yeah.
is work, 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 work. And I feel like I'm changing that in my life. Like, hey, there's a life. There's not
Yeah.
just money. It's more than money. Money is good, but you need to open doors for so much. And I feel like, oh my God, when he says, you are the one, you are the, that person who's gonna change the legacy.
Yeah.
It's so important.
For me, I would say when like moving to this country and like seeing my parents like struggle when we move here. My mom is a lawyer, my dad's a businessman in Venezuela, but when we come here, it's like
You're just,
your degrees are back home,
yeah,
they're not
yeah,
here.
yeah, yeah,
So it's seeing my mom like having to clean at hotels. My dad had to, and there's nothing wrong with hard work. Like that's,
yeah.
they're not stealing from anyone. Like I
But
admire
there's a
that.
shake.
But I
It
was
shakes
like,
you.
I don't want to see that. I don't want to be just like comfortable and like seeing them struggle. They're not struggling now. My mom has a very successful career in like life insurance and all of that. Like she's a great salesperson. I admire her a lot. Like I used to be like, why do you, like you talk too much to your clients? And now that I'm in sales, I'm like, her and I
Yeah,
are the,
yeah,
the ones like
yeah,
answering the phones and
yeah,
all of that during our family stuff. But I knew that I don't want that to be my family history. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like
yeah,
I don't want that to be the future of my kids and even for them. So like just having the opportunity of like if something that feels so rewarding, as simple as like, hey, we're gonna go on vacation, don't worry about it, like I got it. That just feels amazing. It's something that
yeah, yeah,
like money doesn't buy happiness, but having time with your family where they don't have to worry
yeah,
about anything
yeah,
because you're taking care of it,
yeah.
that's happiness to me.
And it's happiness when even if your mom doesn't need your money,
Yeah.
but it gives you happiness to say, Mom, do you want to go to a cruise? I'll pay for it.
Uh-huh.
It makes me happy. I have my family. I was able to bring my family from Ecuador. Um, and that makes me happy. It's like, hey, I was able to bring my dad, my sister, with all the family, and they're here, and we're happy together. And yeah, that's my happiness.
Mm-hmm.
And if I didn't have the money,
Yeah.
I was
You
not gonna do that.
exactly. So that's what I say. Like you gotta find your why, whatever it is. If it's I know what my why is, but everybody has a different why, right? Like different reasons why they want to do it. And then the money will come when you're doing the activities that will get you to that place.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's just there's not a secret sauce to success. It's honestly it's what you do every day and where you want to get to.
So, Danny, I know we can be here the whole day, but I know you're
Yes.
busy and I have some other appointments as well. But what is next for you? What's that, Danny, in 10 years that you are afraid of becoming and say, oh, you didn't do what you were supposed to? Where do you see yourself in 5 or 10 years?
So that's a loaded question, but I will answer just a few things that come to mind. And for me, it's creating an impact in people's lives. That say being, in real estate or however it is. I know I love real estate and I love being a realtor, but that's not what I want to do for the rest of my life in the sense of I want to build um, a business
Mm-hmm.
that will allow me to help other people also reach their dreams and goals. So whether that will be in the future doing a team or however it is, I don't really know all the answers right now, but I do see myself helping and coaching people to become what they dream and what they're here to be. You know what I mean? Like sometimes we don't really see all of our potential, and
Yeah.
it takes is someone believing in you and giving you the tools to get to your goals.
Yeah.
So I know I've been through a lot, and I always think there is a higher purpose and why,
Yeah.
why I had to move to from my country in, such a like crazy way, why I went through a divorce, why I went through cancer, infertility, like all those things that I could see like for me. Now I use it as there's people out there that needs to know how to get through it
Yeah.
too. So the next for me will be continue to build in my career in real estate, staying healthy, trusting God that He's taking me to the purpose that He brought me here to be.
Awesome,
Yeah.
Danny. Awesome. So, for those agents, or just in general, guys, because this is not just for real estate agents, I love these spaces because I think those are like stories that can help anybody,
Hmm.
anybody that are going through some kind of struggle, anybody that are thinking that, oh my God, what am I going to do? We're going through some tough moments in the country right now, and it's not a secret for immigrants right now. There's a lot of uncertainty, there's a lot of fear, there's a lot of things that are going. Um, Through right now, and we don't know if it's good or bad. I'm not into politics, but for the people that think that sometimes everything is against you, um one more time, like Tony Robbins said, this is not happening to you, this happening for you.
Hmm.
So whatever you're going through, and especially real estate agents, it really hurts when I hear those numbers. I say like over 90% of real estate agents quit because they don't know, or whatever. Or I don't like when maybe senior agents say, oh, the new agents are going to disappear. They don't have to disappear, guys. I don't wish nobody to disappear. This is not about, oh, I want more market because half of the agents are quitting. I want everybody to become successful
There's
because
enough business for
there's enough
everyone.
business for everybody. So if you're thinking on like quitting or this is not for me, please reach out to any of us. Believe me, either Danny, myself, Monica, anybody that can help you going through whatever you are going through. Or if you just have a question, hey Danny, how do you do this? Or how did
Hmm.
you do that? I'm sure she's not gonna say no, you know what? I'm sorry, I'm not gonna share with you anything. Believe me, we want to share, we want to help, we want to help each other. I need help as well, Danny needs help. If you are a top producer and you know like more than we do, because there's a lot of great agents out there, please help us being better every day and just help this business, the real estate business, which is the number one industry in the world.
Hmm.
And even though being the biggest industry in the world, real estate agents are not being, um, I want to say, appreciated. Like real estate agents, people think that real estate agents don't work enough and this and that, or they don't need a real estate agent in their lives. I think everybody needs a realtor in their lives because they're selling, buying, renting, whatever they need. Everybody needs a housing. So, Danny, thank you so much. Thank
Thank
you for
you.
being here. If anybody needs to contact you for anything, how can they contact you? How can real estate agents ask for your help, advice, anything, or just being a partner, or just having a business with you? Because it's great working with you. So share with everybody how they can find you, and just say thanks to all these great people that are watching us. And if you have any questions, please guys reach out to us.
Very easy to find me. I'm on social media, at Daniela Patton underscore. Yeah. Easy to find me on social media, on Facebook, same, just using my name. I'm very easy to, get access to, in the sense of like if you send me a message, I will answer. I do, like I say, I do believe there is enough business for everyone, and more than competing with other agents, there's like a lot of like contribution, like even with like people that are in your same market, there's things you can do to help each other. So feel free to reach out to me. And I love helping other people, not only my clients, buyers, sellers, but other agents, because I was once that person that was lost, didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
And I had a great mentor and have still a great mentor that I can call and ask questions. So find whoever that person is for you. And if I can be one for you, I'll be happy to.
Thank you so much, Danny. I wish you the best. And
Thank
guys,
you.
reach out to us. Keep following us. Next month, I will have another great professional here sharing their stories. And you can find me here live. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on YouTube. I'm doing this every month. So I'll see you next month. Reach out to us if you need any help. Good luck. Have a great rest of the weekend and stay warm. It's cold in
It
Florida.
is. And
It's
dry.
snowing.
Snowing here.
So, guys, have a good one. Thank you so much.